Okay, so without anything further going on, let me introduce one of our longtime hosts and MCs, Mr. Earl Maxwell.
Well, thank you, George, for that good introduction, and thank you for that kind welcome. And most importantly, thank you all for being here. This is the 10th year that I've served as either MC or co-MC. Usually Bobby Jenkins with ABC Home and Pest Control, who you see every night on the 10 o'clock news if you watch the news. Usually Bobby is here to co-MC, but today you're stuck with me. But the good news is we always have either the mayor pro tem or the mayor here, and you'll get that opportunity. So what's unique about this 10-year experience is this is the one day a year that I come to city council chambers and that Mayor Pro Tem Garza comes to council chambers, and it's all about good. And everybody's happy. And no one's asking for anything or protesting about anything. And so it's really a wonderful time to be in this space and to be able to relax and just be joyful with each other and the people who are going to be recognized today. So this is our Say Thanks Austin closing ceremony. You've all been involved with the online voting, and you're here. The 10 people who are being recognized as legends today are all here because you have all received the most online votes for doing something good. And what's really unique about today is the people we've recognized over the past 10 years, and so that must be 100 people over the past 10 years. There probably aren't more than 2 or 3 of those people who are well-known people in the community. The other 96 or 97 of the people recognized over this period of time are the unsung heroes in our community. They're the people that you most likely have never read about in the newspaper, or you've never seen on the 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock news. But they are the unsung heroes. And so today's class represents that same group of people. And so I think that's another reason this makes today so special. I'm having to look up and down. I didn't know that I was doing all of this. I didn't know Bobby was not going to be here until I got here about 15 minutes ago. And my other excuse is I retired as CEO of the St. David's Foundation at the beginning of the year. And my wife and I have just returned from a 3-week trip to Australia, New Zealand, and Hawaii, which was our post-retirement trip. And I'm still on some other time schedule. So I'm still waking up at strange times of the morning. So let me see. So today we're going to welcome the RecognizeGood legends, the class of 2019, their families, and their guests. And in a few moments, we'll get to the best part of the ceremony. During the month of January, all of Austin and people worldwide came forward to say thank you to the legends here today, using everything from text messages and social media to good old pen and paper. To all who took the time to say thanks during the campaign, and a lot of you are in this room, I say thank you on behalf of RecognizeGood. I'd also like to thank our media partners who have supported our Legends program, our Say Thanks Austin campaign, and this ceremony. If you've heard one of these legendary stories read by my friend Bobby Jenkins on Magic 95.5, that's because of our partnership with Intercom Radio. If you've seen one of these stories on television, that's because of our continued partnership with CBS Austin and their We Are Austin morning show. Because of them, the stories of these legends are shared with tens of thousands of viewers. And we really have Bobby Jenkins to thank for both of those media partnerships because he buys a lot of media from those groups. And he's a board member of RecognizeGood, so he reaches out and they are more than happy to help us. So again, this year I want to thank Mrs. Barbara Shack, Miss Rosanna Frank, Mr. Don Baldwin, and the rest of the staff at City Hall for helping us make this ceremony truly special and showing the city's support of volunteers in our community. This event would not be possible without them, so let's give a round of applause to our media partners and City Hall. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Mayor Pro Tem Delia Garza. Delia was first elected to the council in 2014. I had forgotten that it's been that long ago because time flies the older you get. And in 2014, if you live in Austin, you might remember what was special about that year. That was the first 10-1 council after many years of another governance system. So she was a charter member of the 10-1 council. She's also the first Latina to serve as mayor pro tem. And I think Gus Garcia was probably the first Latino to serve as mayor pro tem. So she's in big footsteps. So please join me in welcoming to the podium Mayor Pro Tem Delia Garza.
Thank you. I'm so sorry I was a little late. I was invited to speak at Barbara Jordan Elementary. They were celebrating Black History Month, and they had this really, really great program there that I was very lucky to be able to speak at. And I know the mayor would have loved to have been here, sends his apologies for not being able to be here. But I'm proud to be here in his stead. A lot of people wonder, what does mayor pro tem mean? It means you're kind of the vice mayor. So I'm the vice mayor. But I want to thank, again, the media partners. As Earl mentioned, you know, there are a lot of unsung heroes, and what I have found serving as a council member is that we have so many good people in our community who don't care to get recognized, but we're happy to be able to do that. It's also great to see Mr. Maxwell. He was a champion for issues in Southeast Austin. I represent District 2, which is Southeast Austin. We have a lot of health disparities and issues, and St. David's Foundation was always a wonderful partner in helping us get playscapes and helping us get food access, so I'm so grateful to see him and glad he's enjoying retirement. The initiative of RecognizeGood and its Legends program provides a powerful platform to shine a light on the important work done by volunteers and in the nonprofit sector. In 90 ceremonies over the course of 10 years, RecognizeGood has not only acknowledged 90 individual volunteers, but including today's presentation, has given over $250,000 in pay-it-forward donations to nonprofits in the names of those volunteers. These donations subsequently enabled the Legends and their nonprofits to be able to do even more work in their programs. So in short, the Legends we honor today truly show that Austin cares. Now let's turn our attention to the folks who brought us here today, as well as their families and friends. I congratulate these individuals and the people who campaigned on their behalf to combine over 100,000 thank yous cast during this year's Say Thank You Austin's campaign. To see why we received so many thank yous, let's recap the work of the Legends. You can also read about them, I guess there's a program, or yes, in these programs right here. For each Legend, feel free to stand when I call your name. Miss Donna Snyder. You want them to come up, or? Okay. Ms. Snyder's passionate about doing for others. Donna's decades plus of service, with truth be told, is only a glimpse of her volunteer career, which spans over 6,000 hours donated. So congratulations, Ms. Snyder. Mr. Robert Moore. So, yay. Still on the job well into his 80s, volunteer firefighter and honorary chaplain, Mr. Robert Moore, also known as the Red Rooster, has been a fixture at the ESD Ford Travis County Fire Station for over 20 years and has positively impacted thousands of lives. You may also know him by his signature saying, "But I'm still here." Congratulations, Mr. Moore. Mr. Randy O'Donnell, oh, I'm sorry, Odell, Randy Odell. Randy Odell launched the first all-volunteer emergency canteen for the Salvation Army, Austin in 2012, and since then has impacted the lives of tens of thousands of disaster and emergency victims. Congratulations, Mr. Odell. Miss Elizabeth Williams. From comforting families in medical crisis to leadership in the boardroom, Elizabeth Williams has carried on her mother's legacy with Ronald McDonald House Charities for over 34 years of volunteer service. Congratulations, Ms. Williams. Miss Ann Hart. Ann has volunteered in the autism community for 30 years, giving countless hours to impact thousands of families through Autism Society of Texas. Congratulations, Ms. Hart. Ms. Julie Webb. With lessons of frugality instilled in her childhood, Julie Webb has drawn to food rescue organization Keep Austin Fed, and has single-handedly rescued almost 150,000 pounds of food. Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Besher Garcia, did I say that right? I'm sorry. Is she here? Mr.? I'm sorry. Mr. Besher Garcia. Okay. Mr. Garcia and his family moved to California recently, and that's funny because everyone says they're coming here, right? So now we can say we're going to California. Recently, and representing him today is Women's Storybook Project Executive Director Joe Gonzalez. Mr. Garcia is a tap dancing 7th grader who has used his unique talents and bright personality to become the single largest donor to Women's Storybook Project of Texas. Congratulations, Mr. Garcia. Ms. Jacki James. After the tragic loss of her son, Jacki launched a campaign called Kindness Matters that's turned into a national organization delivering a pro-kindness message to almost 12,000 students. Thank you, Ms. James. And finally, Ms. Norma Crozier. Is that right? Is she? Oh, there you go. 92 years young, Norma has left an indelible mark on the staff and visitors at Austin's LBJ Presidential Library, volunteering faithfully in countless capacities for over 31 years. Thank you, Ms. Kroger. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present our Recognize Good Legends class of 2019. In introducing you, I am certain your work has had an amazing impact on our community, and I thank you for that. I want to thank all the business partners and contributors. Congratulations to each of these legends and to all our legends over the past 10 years for all that you do to make the greater Austin area a better place to live and work. Thank you.
And now I'd like to ask the previous or past legends who are with us today to please come forward, and you're going to form a semicircle up here if there are enough people to form a semicircle. Do we have past legends? We do. Come on forward. Don't be shy. We're not going to ask you to speak. Okay, now, let me fast forward. So now we're going to announce each of the new legends, hand you a check, and then eventually we'll get to the top 3 legends. So, George is going to help me with this. Robert Moore, would you please come forward? And Robert is representing Alzheimer's Texas. Congratulations. That's yours. And you're going to take pictures. Thank you. There we go. Norma Crozier, representing the Lyndon Baines Johnson Foundation. She is 92 years young. My mother's 90 and you're doing better than she is. There we go. Thank you. Congratulations. She can, if she wants to stand that long.
Jill Gonzalez represents Besher Garcia.
Jill Gonzalez, representing Besher Garcia and Women's Storybook Project of Texas. Congratulations, and thank you for being representative. And turn around and get in the middle and smile. And Hart with Autism Society of Texas. And Donna Snyder with Truth Be Told. Facebook should be active this afternoon, and we encourage you to take pictures and post to Facebook and all those other things that are out there. Randy Odell with the Salvation Army of Austin. I think that's the check. Hang hang on to that. Now, up to this point, we've recognized 7 or 8 of the legends, and I was supposed to pause and ask you if you'd like to say anything. And so, since I forgot to do that, I'm asking you if the bravest soul would come up. It'll take somebody to get it started. But if you'd like to say something, come on up. Thank you, sir.
First of all, we thank you, and we thank God for all of us that is here today. It's something that I'm not very much of a speaker, but I'm proud to be here. And I was thinking the lady that is 90 years old, and I wanted to tell I'm right behind, I'm 86. But I'm glad to be here, and my goal of every day it is to help somebody. But today I needed a lot of help to get here. So, but I'm here, and thank God for all of us. Thank you.
I just want to say that through my nonprofit work over and over and over, I've been shown that love and connection is what it's all about. I've been the receiver and the giver. And I also want to Recognize Good. I think this is so extraordinary that we have a group in Austin that recognizes all the nonprofit warriors that are out there. Thank you.
I just want to, for one thing, I want to say thanks to my husband for coming today. He can't usually come because with our son with autism, he's usually home with our son with autism, but he's the one who's made all my volunteer work possible, so thank you for that. And I also want to quote something that's been, something that came up in the 2018 Tony Awards. Some of you may have heard that's been very powerful to me, and I think it really speaks for everyone I know in the autism community who does advocacy work and volunteering. The award winner said that know that your biggest obstacle may turn into your purpose, and that has definitely been true for our family. Thank you.
I'm just going to say something on behalf of Besher because I know that he would say is thank you to Recognize Good. And I know he would thank Women's Storybook Project because it helped him recognize how blessed he was to have parents who read to him and that he was lucky to have parents who were with him to read to him. So if you are blessed enough to have parents and children together, read with each other and help others to do the same. Thank you.
I thought we were going to skate on this little talk, but I guess it's not going to happen. So anyhow, I want to thank Salvation Army for their help in designing the program that we have going on. The volunteers, all volunteer group up in Williamson County and Travis County that go to disasters. And I want to thank the Austin Recognize Good program also. Thank you.
If you're in a bar and you have last call, everybody jumps up. And I guess this is a completely different forum. So one thing that's not in my script, because of the humility of the Recognize Good board and staff, but if you're with Recognize Good's board or staff, including its founder, John Bosch, I wanted to say Blazier, but that's another good guy in the community. John Bosch and your team, would y'all stand and be recognized? Now, which runner-up is this?
This is the third place.
Third place. So I guess that's the second runner-up in the Miss America pageant. And that's Jacki James with Kindness Matters. Congratulations. And you get a big check. Hang on to the little one. Oh, yeah. That's how we'll do it.
Thank you.
Just, I'm going to echo what everyone else has already said. Just thank you so much for supporting me, especially my family and my friends who have always been there for me the last 5 years and helped me create this organization where we can help kids realize how much kindness really does matter, and Recognize Good has been such a big part of that. So I'm just honored to be here. Thank you very much.
The first runner-up gets a $2,500 check made payable to Ronald McDonald House Charities. And that's Elizabeth Williams. Congratulations. I saw Carolyn.
What an amazing opportunity this has been. I'm just so thankful for this and so appreciative for all that the Ronald McDonald House Charities do. This past month has been so great to see so many friends and family and strangers join with us. We each have such unique passions, and so to be celebrated and joined in all this time focused on people and on the good that they're all doing. Thank you so much to all of you.
And the next recipient, who is the Legend of the Year, I have a small world story to tell that's not anywhere in the script. But I was sitting over there 15 or 20 minutes before the program started, looking at the program, trying to figure out what my part was going to be today. And this woman, my age, came up to me and introduced herself. And then I said, "Is Webb your maiden name?" And she said, "Yes, it is." And I said, "Is Chip Webb your brother?" And Chip is here with his mother and and their extended families, and there's a grandson or a great-grandson here as well. But the Webb family lived 4 or 5 blocks from where I grew up in southeast Houston, which is a blue-collar neighborhood within recite of all the refineries along the ship channel, and most of the fathers in that neighborhood worked in the refineries. And Chip and I were in Cub Scouts, not Cub Scouts, we were on school patrols. We held the cane poles with the flag on the end at Pearl Rucker Elementary School, and then we went on to Dede Junior High and Milby High School, and it's just amazing to me. I haven't seen this family in years and years, and like 60 years later, we're here. So, Julie Webb with Keep Austin Fed, please come forward. Congratulations. And let's do this. I'll hold this if you want to say something.
In my cycling class at the Y last week, at the end of class, the teacher played a song by Townes Van Zandt, and it was being sung by Lyle Lovett. And the words of the song were, "If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me for to ease my pain?" And the song goes on to say, "If you needed me, I would come to you. I would cross the seas to ease your pain." Throughout this process, I made the critical mistake of reading the bios of all of the other legends. And when I read them, I would have imposter syndrome. I would think, why in the world am I being nominated as a legend with these people who have dedicated their lives to easing other people's pain? And I know all of you do that as well. I know that you respond when you see pain and when people ask for your help. And in our nation right now, in a time when we are so divided, I think the common ground that we stand on is that when someone asks for help, we say yes, and that's what will heal us. Thank you so much.
You get on one end and I'll get on this. And here's one thing that's really amazing about this process and really shows the power of social media and the internet. The first place finisher received 36,000 thank yous. That's 36,000. So before I close the event, okay, I'm gonna go off script for just a second. I loved that Townes Van Zandt poem, which later became a song. And as she was reading it, I had the feeling that most of the people could sing that song, especially if you're a Townes Van Zandt fan or a Guy Clark fan. They were best friends. And neither of them are with us anymore. But I think they're both looking down on us. So I want to remind everyone that so are y'all relieved that I didn't ask you to sing? Thanks for reading the song. So I want to remind everyone that we'd like all the 2019 legends to join us at the blue backdrop which is right there, for official photos. And are those going to be in groups of how many?
Individual first and group.
Well, okay, each of the individuals will have their pictures, and any of the people representing them or associated with them or family or friends, you can join in those pictures, and then we'll get everybody up here for a group picture. And while all that's going on, there are probably 100 other cameras in the room called an iPhone, and so feel free to come up and take as many of those pictures as you want. We're already working on our Recognize Good Legends class of 2020. We look forward, with your help, to doing this all again next year. We know there are more legends out there, and so we ask all of you to help us find them and nominate these people. I'm sure our honorees this morning would agree that the small gesture of saying thank you can and does make a big impact. So be sure to go to RecognizeGood.org and tell the world about a person who changed your life. As a member of the Recognize Good board, and with the consent of my fellow board members, I hereby declare that the Legends class of 2019 are now eligible to participate in the selection of future Recognize Good Legends. As we conclude our ceremony, thank all of you for being here today and for your support of the Recognize Good Legends program. And with that, I think that brings the program to an end. I'm going to look over to George Mihalchik, who organizes everything every year for 10 years. Have we covered everything except pictures over here? And that doesn't have to be in any apparent order, just one legend at a time come up, and then the family and friends can join, and we'll take some pictures and move to the next group. So we trust that we'll have everybody out of here before noon. Thank you.